public call for witnesses. The neuroscience behind abuse in high control religion. I'm coming forward because the world needs to understand something crucial. Predators don't just appear, they are produced. And the LDS Church has built conditions that, according to neuroscience and developmental psychology, can fracture a child's instinctive system, create lifelong trauma patterns, and even shape the neurological pathways that give rise to narcissistic, sociopathic, and predatory behavior. I am taking action not just to expose abuse, but to expose the mechanisms that create it. This is about the environment that neurologically engineers them. The brain science no one talks about. Neuroscience is clear. When children are raised in systems that demand obedience over intuition, when natural instincts are labeled dangerous, sinful, or wrong, when fear, shame, and perfectionism replace autonomy and self-trust, when emotional expression is controlled, monitored, or punished, the brain rewires itself. And this wiring can create trauma-based dissociation, fragmented identity development, emotional numbing, impaired empathy circuits, black and white thinking, narcissistic personality defenses, predatory opportunism in those already inclined toward power. This is the root. This is the mechanism. This is how a system can unknowingly and sometimes knowingly create the very harm it claims to prevent. Why I'm taking legal action. I am preparing to move forward with legal action against the LDS Church, not just for the abuse itself, but for the psychological and neurological conditions the institution fosters that allows the abuse to flourish. This is about exposing the science, the patterns, the predictable psychological outcomes of high control religious environments. But I can't do this alone. This is the call for witnesses and survivors. If you grew up silencing your instincts, if you grew up struggling with chronic fear, shame, or perfectionism, witnessed manipulative leaders or family members, experienced gaslighting dressed up as spirituality, saw empathy collapse in those who held religious authority, suffered abuse from someone the church protected, your story is part of a larger pattern, a predictable, documentable, neurological one. And your voice matters. We are connecting the dots. I'm not just collecting stories. I'm collecting evidence of a system, neurological pattern that has been ignored for generations. If you're ready to share, publicly or anonymously, reach out to me privately. Together we can expose the truth that's been hiding behind obedience, silence, and worthiness interviews. Together we can hold the system accountable for the psychological damage it creates long before a predator even enters the room. This is about neuroscience. This is about generational trauma. This is about dismantling the conditions that creates predators, not just catching them after the fact. If you feel this truth, you're not alone, and you're exactly who I'm calling for.